Let's sort of
So,
summarize. So, joint health, there's some studies. This is what you're doing, taking 68 tablets and 300 mils of water, all right, on a daily basis. We've spoken about metabolic health. Is that your sort of number one for hydrogen? Maybe you can just go through a list where you obviously been doing this for a while. So, you must have testimonials. You must have people that have written to you, or you've
yeah.
distributed your product through other companies, where are the sort of major benefits health-wise from condition perspective?
So I'll defer to our clinical research. We get countless testimonials, right? And we'll use them for research direction to explore, but I always defer to, the double-blind, placebo-controlled trials. And sorry, I went on a long tangent. The best answer is we don't have perfect evidence on what the perfect dose is for each person in each condition.
No, of
That
course.
is actually safe for any drug. We do population averages, which I don't think is sustainable in the future. I think the future comes down to wearable technology, and we need personalized dosing for everything, um, especially for things like hormetic stresses, like exercise, cold, heat. The same amount of anything that is good for you, that is good today, might be harmful to the next person, but even to you, it might be harmful tomorrow, depending on what your
Exactly.
chronic stress load is on that exact day,
Yeah, and I
right?
think this is the important thing because you're listening out there. Cold plunging and the cryotherapy I used to do actually made my condition and my health worse. I saw my numbers plummet. I love the infrared sauna. I added the cold plunging. It wasn't good for me. I saw my immunity drop. It wasn't good. So something that can be good in a small dosage and sometimes even in any dosage because you've got so many other stresses. You're fasting, you're exercising, you're working, you're engaging in this world. There are lots of little stresses, hormetic stresses. Add another one, it can be just too much for the system.
Exactly, right? Because they compound. And in some cases, having one hormetic stress after another acts as a protective effect. In other cases, it compounds the stress and makes it worse. And that can change again for each person and each person every day, depending on what your current stress load and recovery is, right?
And I think
And
this is
different,
so important, Alex. You got to emphasize this because people are just in cold plunging, they're doing
yeah.
infrared, they're doing fasting, they're doing this, and they think, oh, the research says it's good. But in what
I'm
combination?
I'm gonna piss off a lot of my customers and a lot of the influencers who promote my technology. But my book, which is coming out within a week or so, it's a day or two away from finalizing. It's called Stress Hacked. There's two sides. There's the body and the mind. They start inverted from either end and they converge and they meet in the center. And kind of the underlying message is we cannot be strong unless we're strong in mind, body, and purpose, right? That if we're weak in one of them, where we're strong becomes weaponized, both internally and externally. And we need this unity of our mind, body, and purpose to use as a tool to lift not just ourselves, but those around us up in society. So I walk through the body side is how to keep your body strong, and I talk about different hormetic agents and how the right dose of stress is critical. But I make some comments in there that anyone who is saying that there is a single protocol on any one hormetic agent, let alone stacking 5, 10 of them in succession, that is good for all people all the time, is demonstrating they don't know the first thing about hormesis,
Yeah.
right? And how it affects the body. And it is now the prevailing narrative in influencers and even a lot of practitioners, right, talking in society. And it's terrifying, right? And like you said, like cold stresses you out, but infrared's good. I can deal with infrared. I can't deal with traditional saunas. I sometimes will faint within 10 to 15 minutes in a hot traditional sauna. My body is not built for the heat. I get heat stroke very, very easily. The cold, I have no problem. I have spent in one instance it was too much, but they said it was somewhere between 4 to 6 Celsius. I got on a phone call and I was in for over 30 minutes. And that's the only time I've ever actually felt a stress response from cold. I, I keep I keep my office at 16 Celsius all day long, and I keep my bedroom at the same. And I'm in flip-flops and shorts. Like my body deals well in cold. I do not get stressed out from the cold. I get extremely stressed out from the heat.
Yeah.
And we need to understand those. But you wouldn't tell a 20-year-old athlete to do the same workout that you tell a 80-year-old grandma, right? So why would you tell all people to do the same hormetic stacking every day, regardless of what their current health is and their recovery trajectory
Exactly,
is?
but
It's
you
just
wouldn't
it's
tell
a
20-year-old athlete who's just got sick and had like a major virus. He's not going to do the same stack the next day. I mean, that just it doesn't sit
it,
well. So here's the same person, or he's not going to do it the same in if he's in Canada or South Africa. There's changes, there's different sort of environments that affect our body in different ways.
100%, 100%.